Yo, what's going on everybody? So today I want to have a conversation with you guys about the pairing of Inojin and Sarada, two people that I didn't think a lot of fans were actually thinking about shipping together, and it's actually something that is pretty damn popular, and much to my surprise, there's actually some evidence that's out there that suggests that this pairing could indeed be a thing. So before I get into the actual topic, I want to take a moment and talk to you guys about why I'm covering this. So back on Kryptonian saying I originally covered this topic, but that's back when I was scripting like 95% of my Naruto videos, and I was still learning small stuff like microphone presence, being comfortable reading from a script, and a bunch of small things. Like over on Roberto Blake's channel, he has a video right now talking about you need to make 100 videos before you can actually start finding your voice, and that's absolutely true. And so what I've been doing over here on Naruto Explained is some of those videos over on that channel, I've essentially just decided, you know what, I don't like the videos I had on Kryptonian saying, so I'm just gonna essentially remake those videos, and I'm gonna try and bring the quality up to 2019 standard, because you only get one first chance at a first impression. And so instead of writing out a super long script going over all the little details, I'm essentially gonna start doing some videos where I'm just talking to you guys about it. Like, I'm not even gonna read the script or the passages or anything like that. I'm just gonna talk to you guys about the scenario. I'm gonna see if you guys like this type of presentation better than the one I did before. So what's so funny about this is a lot of people would say, oh, this is clearly something that's fan service. If it happens, there's nothing that really supports the fact that this might even be a thing. Well, much to my surprise and much to the surprise of a lot of you all, in Boruto, back when it was running in Weekly Shonen Jump, even though it's actually a monthly release, it was for the first 2 years that the manga was in serialization, it was actually running in Weekly Shonen Jump. And so when Boruto would come out, one of the ways that they would try and hype out the manga is they would have a special section in the magazine as well as in the manga when the manga got released in physical volumes, and it will be called the Boruto Fan Cluster. So in the Boruto Fan Cluster, that's essentially kind of the same thing that you get in One Piece, where you get the author notes where Eiichiro Oda would just kind of mention a few things that's going on. Well, in this case with the Boruto Fan Cluster, this is an opportunity for Kodachi to, talk about the different characters and interactions, and you learn more about characters that haven't popped up in the manga or characters that are about to pop up. And so one of the things that you actually get when you get to the character of Inojin is you get the members of Team 7. They're having all their various comments about the different people that are in their generation, and some of these are actually pretty hilarious to kind of see how the characters view one another. And what's so interesting about it is the fact that Inojin, when it comes to Sarada, is actually drawn blushing, and that's one of those times where you can say, oh well, maybe they're just taking something a little bit out of context. And at first I thought the same thing too, but then when you get to Sarada and Sarada starts talking about how Inojin, whenever he gets around people, he's known for having a extremely razor sharp tongue, and he's somebody that can hurt a lot of people's feelings. And anybody that watched episode 2 of the Boruto anime knows that Inojin, when it comes to his razor sharp tongue, he's got a lot of the same problems that Sai had, where Sai will look at somebody and he's like, oh, this person is ugly, and a normal person would know you kind of tone down the fact that they have a face that would make babies cry. But when it comes to Inojin and Sai would just go ahead and say exactly what's on their mind. And so what you actually get in this moment is that Sarada reveals that she's seen Inojin hurt people's feelings, she's seen Inojin kind of be razor sharp with a lot of people, but when it comes to her, she's never experienced that side with them. And so that right there, that's something that stands out, and I'll explain to you guys why that actually stands out. So when it comes to the Inojin and Sarada type of relationship and the idea that this might actually happen, you have to first go back to what happened with Ino and Sai. So essentially when Sai is meeting everybody, he's saying, hey, Choji, pretty fat dude. Hey, Naruto, you're a freaking idiot. Sakura, I think you're ugly. And then once he gets to Ino, he says, okay, I have to say the opposite of what I'm thinking, because I'm clearly pissing people off. And he calls her beautiful. Well, what we actually end up finding out is that as Sai gets older, Sai actually thinks that Ino's beautiful, and it's the exact same thing. So at this point, when we get to the manga, this is really the first time that we've seen any type of interaction when it comes to Sarada and Inojin. So the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's manga and the anime is completely different. It's completely different. Like, the anime adapts a few small things, and it takes like the basic structure of the manga, and then it just completely fleshes everything out. out, and in a way it adds to the story. Whereas with the manga, I like to consider the manga as a template for how the story should go, but the anime just completely builds on everything we get there. But what's so interesting about this possibility is the fact that in a very subtle way, it's taking a new take on how Sai and Ino were set up. Now, when it comes to stuff like this, when you get to people that, when it comes to romance, they're not necessarily the best at actually writing romance. Little small stuff like this tends to be what actually blossoms relationships, especially when it comes to battle shonens. But I want to know from you guys, do you like the idea of the children of Sakura and Ino, two people who were essentially eternal rivals when it came to Sasuke? Do you like the idea that these two children could get together? And if this is something that happens, would you be okay with it, or would you absolutely cry BS if it happened, if we got another situation where we had a bunch of pairings that happened that essentially didn't have any real build up in the manga? Let me know what you guys think about that. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.